Alright, here we go. In this video, I want to explore belief systems again. I feel like exploring belief systems because there's a lot to talk about within the realm of belief systems. And it's very interesting to consider that belief systems keep you trapped inside of a very specific way of living, right? So when you look at belief systems, you're essentially working with, well, for starters, regardless of how you're living, you're working with a very specific program, right? So that program is either beneficial or unbeneficial. It either serves you or it is a limitation, right? And so when you can look at this stuff and realize, like, okay, the belief system that tells you that you are not deserving, right? That you're not worthy of this, that, and the other. It's not true. It's just a belief system. So, okay, here's the wall, right? And you are, or this, whatever, you are on the other side of that wall. That wall is the belief system. It stops you from seeing clearly, what's right in front of you. And the reason why it's so important to question that belief system is because it's just a belief system, which is interesting because belief systems are running our lives every single day. They're bringing us to experience life in a very specific way, and that way is based entirely around the ideas of how we see ourselves, right? That ideas, the ideas of, okay, this is who I am, this is what I am, this is how I see myself, this is how I see the world seeing me, right? And anything beyond that is just unattainable. I know that I've had conversations regarding this with my sweetheart, and we've had some interesting insights as a result of it. And so basically the bottom line of all of this is that, you have a belief system or multiple belief systems regarding how your life should be, how it looks. And this is all entirely based on how you see yourself. But how you see yourself is based on, unless you heal through it, unless you heal from it, and you change it and the dynamics of it, it's based on your upbringing, right? So, for instance, if you had a father who raised you teaching you that you were a piece of shit, your belief system is going to be that you're a piece of shit. Somebody who sees themselves as a piece of shit is not going to think that they're deserving of certain things that go beyond being a piece of shit, right? So in order for you to attain this right here, you can't be this as a piece of shit. And, here's another one. You'll never be good enough. Ooh, there's a prison. There's a prison and a half. You'll never be good enough, right? That keeps you locked inside. That keeps you locked inside of one of the biggest limitations. You'll never be good enough. That is deserving. That is worth right there. So if you're never good enough, then you're never deserving of good things in life, right? Like oh, okay, this is good enough. You're right. You're right below it. That stings. That stings, right? And every single day, people are learning belief systems about themselves because they're being taught by other people, because they've been taught to put their worth outside of them. They're being taught by other people what it is that they are deserving of, what it is that they are worth, right? And the reason why it's so important to explore this stuff, the reason why it's so important to explore belief systems is because they're just belief systems. Yes, they're running your entire life. They are the program that is running your day-to-day life. That's true. But that doesn't change the fact that they're just belief systems. Just like you could believe that you're a piece of shit who, will never be good enough, who's not deserving of anything good, just because you believe that doesn't mean it's true. It just means that it's an idea that was placed in your mind at some point in your life, and that fucked you up. but it doesn't mean that it's true. Again, it just means that it's a belief system. See, the reason why belief systems are so hard to overcome is because they're often planted in our heads at times of our life when we're the most vulnerable as children in our upbringing. Through our, most vulnerable, we're being conditioned into our concrete nature of them at times where we're the most vulnerable. And this is one of the biggest reasons why it can be so challenging to overcome belief systems, is because, think about it this way, throughout all the years that you continue to choose this way of thinking, this way of feeling, this way of behaving, right? Personality. It just becomes more and more concrete. It just becomes more and more reinstilled. And that's how this stuff works. That's how belief systems work. Yes, they run your reality. They run your experience of life, or your experiences of life. But they're just belief systems. And the reason why it's important for the reason why it's so important for me to remind that they're just belief systems is because they're just belief systems. Okay, yeah, they're running the entire show, but they're just belief systems. Okay, yeah, they're fucking your life up, but they're just belief systems. Okay, yeah, they've led you to believe this entire time that you're a piece of shit who doesn't deserve anything good, but they're just belief systems. That's all. They're just belief systems. They're just BS. They're just bullshit. That's all they are. And until you can see that clearly, there's going to be a fucking brick wall in front of you. But then once you do see that clearly, you don't even have to punch through that brick wall. That brick wall will melt as the fucking illusion that it is. Belief systems are just illusions. That's all they are. But you're either carrying with you belief systems that are serving you, or belief systems that are limiting you. But again, they're just belief systems. So see them clearly for what they are, because they're running your life. And it's quite possible that not only are they running your life, but they're also ruining your life. Yeah, belief systems are wild. And it's the program that's running your life. I actually realize now I want to go deeper into conversation with my sweetheart regarding all this, because there's so much to explore here. I'm realizing something that I'm realizing. Sorry. Something that I'm realizing is that if you wake up every single day, and it's kind of like, all right, there's a wall in front of you, right? That wall is not going to go away unless you kind of like do a shortcut and realize that it's just an illusion, which is not easy to do. I'm not gonna sit here and say it is, because the overcoming of the breaking down of belief systems can be very challenging. That pursuit in and of itself can often be a very challenging endeavor. But if you can wake up every day with the intention to see things clearly, to see yourself clearly, to ask yourself, in terms of putting yourself first, ask yourself what it is that you want, ask yourself what it is that you need. No one else is going to do that for you. You need to understand that. No one else is going to do that for you. And so kind of like, just challenging the belief systems that are playing, that program that's playing in your head. Challenging all of that stuff is important. Because if you don't challenge it, you might never actually see it clearly for what it is. And that's important. And also, what you are not changing, you are choosing. So that's another thing to take into consideration. But, yeah, belief systems. Belief systems are just belief systems. They are BS. They are bullshit. So just see them clearly.